Hello everyone, I am Hars. In the previous video we covered the response caching. In today's video we will focus on distributed caching in ASP.NET Core Web API using Redis and SQL Server. I will explain how to implement distributed caching in Web API using simple and practical examples. Without wasting the time, let's get started. Let's first understand what is distributed cache. A distributed cache is cache shared by multiple app servers, typically maintained as an external service to the app server that access it. A distributed cache can improve the performance and scalability of ASP.NET Core apps, especially when the app is hosted by a cloud service or a server farm. A distributed cache has several advantages over other caching scenarios where cached data is stored on individual app servers. When cached data is distributed, the data is consistent across requests to multiple servers, survives server restart and app deployments, and it does not use local memory. I will use Redis for distributed caching, which is the most popular distributed cache backend because it's fast, scalable, and cloud friendly. So what is Redis? Redis is an in-memory data store that powers caching, session management, and real-time applications. It is the most common choice for distributed caching in ASP.NET Core because of its speed and scalability. To use the Redis, we have to install it. Here I will use the Docker desktop to use the Redis. So first let's install the Docker desktop. So go to this page, and as I am using Windows, so I will install the Docker desktop for Windows. I will click on Docker desktop for Windows. It will start downloading the Docker desktop. Download is completed. Let's click on it and install it. Here I will keep it check and click on OK. It will start installing the Docker desktop. It will take some time to install. In the meantime, if you are new to this channel, let's subscribe this channel and share this video with your friends. The installation is succeeded. Let's click on close and restart. It will close and restart the window to complete the installation. Once installation is completed and system is restarted, we will open the Docker desktop. Here I will click on accept. I will skip this part. If you see here, virtualization support not detected. So to use this, sign in to try restoring access to Docker feature. So we have to sign in. Let's sign in, then we will install the Redis. Click on sign in. Here you can choose any of the option. I will choose continue with Google. Let's click on continue with Google. I will use my Gmail ID here and I will log in. So let's enter the credential and sign in. Here you have to provide the username and click on sign up. We will get code in our email. We will enter the code and then verify it. Now click on verify. Now verification is successful. Here we can click on open. It will open our Docker desktop and we can see now we are signed in. After login, we are seeing this error again. Docker desktop failed to start because virtualization support was not detected. So go to the setting and here search for use the WSL2 based engine. In my case, it is disabled. So go to the Windows feature and we have to check it, Windows subsystem for Linux, and then we have to install it. To install it, we have to run one command. This is the command we have to run. If it is not installed, then it will give the option to install. So if you want to continue, you can press any key, then it will start installing, and after installation it will show like this: enabling feature, the operation completed successfully. Like this it will show. If you observe here, it is showing Windows subsystem for Linux has no installed distribution. You can resolve this by installing a distribution with the instruction below. I will run this command. Let's copy it and paste it here and press enter key. The following is the list of valid distribution that can be installing using this command. Let's run the command. I will use this command and here we have to provide the name, which is Ubuntu. I will use Ubuntu here. Let's press the enter key. The operation is successfully. Change will not be affected until the system is rebooted. We have to reboot the system. Now let's reboot our system. After reboot, I started my Docker desktop and now we are getting this window. Welcome to Windows System for Linux. We are starting the Docker engine. So it will take some time and it will start our Docker engine. Here we can see your running containers. So up. Now it's time to run our Redis. To run the Redis, first we have to install it. I will use the command prompt for that. I will open command prompt and here I will write the command docker pull and Redis. Press enter. It will start pulling the Redis. Now it is pulled and we can see the image here. If we go to images, we can see Redis is here. We can run this Redis using this action. Let's first set up our project. To use the Redis distributed cache, we have to install one NuGet package. So let's install it. First, let's stop this application. Go to dependency, click on manage NuGet packages, and here search for stackexchange.redis, or we can simply search Redis. So this is the NuGet package which I am going to use. Let's install it. Click on apply. Now installation is finished. We need to install this package as well. So select this package and click on install, click on apply, click on I accept. Now the installation is finished. Go to program.cs and add this service to the builder services add stack exchange Redis cache, and here we will provide some options like the configuration. We will say option dot configuration, and here we will provide the location where our Redis is running. So now let's run this. Click on done, click on done. Now the Redis is running and we can see it is running here, and we will see the port. Let's find it where it is running. Let's find the port. It is running at port 6379. So here I will say localhost and then I will copy this port. I will paste it here. Now let's go to our controller and here let's comment it. Here only I will add the caching configuration. So to use the caching, we have to inject I distributed cache, and I will provide the name cache, or I will say dcache, and now I will use this users equal to await, and then we will use dcache dot get string async. Here we will provide the cache key where we want to cache, and then we will see if cache value is empty, then we will save this value to our cache. So how to save it? We have to use await and then dcache dot set string async, and here we have to pass the cache key and the cache value, which is this value. Like first let's get it from database. If it is null, then we will get it from database. We have to convert to string, so I will call toString method here, not here. I will keep inside this bracket and then toString, and this string will save to our cache data. And if we want to set the expiration time, that also we can set. We have to create the object for distributed cache entry option, and here we will set absolute expiration relative to now, and then we will set the time span dot from 30 seconds. Like that we can set expiration time. Now let's run and see. Our application is running now. Let's go to the scaler, refresh this page, and here I will test this request. I will set version 1.0 and click on send. It will hit this API. Let's continue. Here we are getting the exception, Redis connection exception. Here I will rerun this Redis service. Let's run it, and here I will add some configuration. I will say Redis server, and I will bind the port 6379 and click on run. Now let's rerun our application. Our application is running now. Let's refresh this page and test this request. I will set 1.0 and click on send. It will call our API. Let's continue. It is calling because cache is not available. Let's continue. Let's continue. And you can see this object because I just converted it to toString. Okay, now let's try again. If you see this time database is not called because we have the data in the cache. Let's continue it. Let's send it again. Let's continue. If you see, I set the expiration time as 30 seconds. So now it's expired. It will clear the cache after 30 seconds. And again, if we try to hit after 30 seconds, then it will again call this database. So this is how the Redis caching will work. Here we have multiple options that also, if you want, you can try. If you see absolute expiration and sliding expiration, what I have explained in earlier caching scenario. So I will not explain this see here, because we already know all these things, just we have to set the value and we will get the similar result as other caching. If you want it to convert to JSON, you can override this toString method in repository class and you can get the actual result instead of this collection. So for now I am not going to show you the serialization and deserialization. I will simply use this toString method. This is how we can use distributed cache using Redis. We can also use the SQL Server for the distributed cache. So how to use it? We have to first create the table with the column ID, value expires at time, sliding expiration in second, absolute expiration, that we have to create manually. But Microsoft provide one tool which is .NET SQL cache tool. Using that we can create the table. So now let's create the table. Let's stop it and go to view menu, or we can open this SQL Server Object Explorer. Click on refresh and here we have the database. Now let's go to the command prompt, and so from the Microsoft website I will copy this command and I will run this command. I will say SQL Server cache. We are getting the error because I don't have this SQL cache tool, so let's install it. I will use this command and run this command. It will install the .NET SQL cache. Then we will able to run this command to create our cache table. Now it is installed. Now let's try to run this command. We are getting the error. Why? Because here we have to change it. Let's change. So here I want to create table inside the user DB. So I will provide here user DB as initial catalog. Now try to run it. Again we got the same error. Now let's copy from here. I will go here and go to the property, and then I will copy the connection string and I will modify according to this. Let's copy this here, and here I will copy data source, initial catalog, integrated security, and I will paste it here. Let's try to run it. Now it is created and we can see the table inside the user DB. Let's refresh it and go to the database, user DB, go to table, and here we can see SQL Server table and we can see data here. You can see it contain ID, value, expires at time, sliding expiration, and this column it will contain. Now let's try to configure the SQL Server as a distributed cache. Let's go to program.cs file, and here we have to add the services for SQL Server. So I will say add distributed. We don't have the SQL Server service, so how to use it? We have to install the NuGet package for the SQL Server. Here we have to install this caching.sql server. Let's click on install, click on apply, click on I accept. Installation is finished. Let's go to program.cs, and now let's try to use this SQL Server cache. And here also we can set some option like the configuration. Configuration means the connection string, and here I will paste this connection string. Then we have to set the schema, which is this one. I will copy it and then I will paste it here, and then we have to set the table name, which is table name equal to this one. Now the configuration is done. Let's go to our controller and let me first comment this Redis cache. So here we no need to change anything, it will work similar to our Redis. So here we are passing distributed cache. Now let's try to run. Our application is running now. Let's refresh this page and let's try to run this API to get the result. I will test the request. Here I will pass 1.0 and click on send. It will call our API. Let's continue. This time it is calling the database. Let's continue and again try to hit it. Let's continue, and this time it is not calling the database. So this is how we can configure the distributed cache using the SQL Server. I hope you learn how to use the distributed cache using Redis and SQL Server. That's all for this video. If you found this video helpful, let's subscribe this channel and share this video with your friends.